Welcome back to Elements of Art in our unit on value. I'm Natasha, and I want to share a bit with you today about how we utilize the element of value in our environment. As you know, art has the power to captivate our senses, evoke emotions, and provoke deep thought. But beyond its aesthetic worth, the elements of art hold practical significance in our daily life. Just like the other elements we've discussed so far, value, which refers to the lights and darks in an artwork, is significantly visible in our environment. So let's explore the practical applications of value outside of visual arts and consider how it impacts various aspects of our lives. In today's lesson, we will discuss how value and contrast function to ensure public safety, highlight the vital connection between value and contrast and the legibility of text, and discuss how value functions in cinematography. Have you ever noticed how the contrast between light and dark elements can affect our ability to see or understand in our environment? Think about the visibility of traffic signs, for instance. Have you ever considered how the use of value and contrast can contribute to our well-being while navigating through buildings or by making text easier to read? And just what role do value and light play in films? We'll embark on an exploration of all of this together. Let's start by shedding some light on an interesting connection between art and safety. Did you know that the element of value used in paintings and compositions has a direct impact on visibility and safety in our everyday lives? Just as an artist skillfully uses contrasting tones to direct our eyes in an artwork, high contrast in our surroundings draws our attention to important information or hazards, ensuring we remain safe and vigilant. Thinking about transportation safety, imagine driving down a bustling city street. The buildings, the people, the colors, everything seems to blend together. But what if I told you that value and contrast make a difference in your safety? Consider road signs and traffic markings. The thoughtful application of value and contrast is crucial here. Using strong values and high contrast helps to distinguish the sign from its background and attract attention. Picture this: a bright white background with bold black text or symbols. That's a perfect example of strong value contrast. The dark black against the light white creates a striking difference that grabs your attention. It's like a spotlight shining on the sign saying, "Hey, look at me." This contrast allows drivers and pedestrians to quickly see and comprehend the information, reducing the risk of accidents or confusion. By using materials with high brightness contrast, such as reflective surfaces, signs can stand out even in low light conditions. For further understanding, let's look at the contrast of a stop sign. Since it's harder to quickly see contrast in color, let's give the sign a black and white filter. Now you can more easily see the difference between the value level of the background and the lettering. Imagine if the contrast was not so strong and the values were closer together. How easy would it be to read a sign that looked like one of these? Pause the video and complete a reflection in your lesson notes. And ensuring public safety through value and contrast does not just occur outside. Let's step indoors. Imagine checking into a hotel. When you enter the lobby, you see a beautifully decorated room with elegant furniture and artwork. Did you know that the deliberate use of contrasting values in the space not only creates a visually stunning atmosphere, but also improves safety? A contrasting carpet color against a light marble floor, for instance, helps guests differentiate between different areas, preventing potential accidents and falls. And light furniture against a dark carpet allows for an easy navigation of the seating. Clear and contrasting value signage placed strategically throughout a hotel guides guests to various facilities such as elevators, restrooms, and exits, ensuring guests can easily find their way around. In other public areas, high contrast is still essential to safety. By utilizing contrasting values, potential hazards and obstacles can be identified. For example, contrasting signs or floor markings on steps or uneven surfaces draw attention to potential tripping or falling risks, alerting individuals to exercise caution. Contrasting stripes even show the safest places to walk. Value and contrast are also crucial in emergency systems like exit signs and illuminated pathways. They ensure clear visibility, quick identification, and guide people to safe exit routes during emergencies, saving lives and enabling swift evacuations. Value and contrast are essential in written communication. By using contrasting colors or bold value typography in presentations, posters, even social media posts, we can capture attention, evoke emotions, and effectively communicate our ideas. Think of a standard newspaper. How does it look? You will see with most every newspaper made since the beginning of making newspapers, a light value paper with dark or black value text. Because high contrast between light and dark elements improves visibility, it makes sense that this would be the chosen design for a work of print made for reading. As a matter of fact, consider what it looks like inside a book. Again, because the idea is to make reading easy, the accepted design is light value paper with dark value print. Not only do value and contrast aid in legibility of paper-printed items, they also establish better visibility online. By strategically applying value and contrast, we make information more easily readable and facilitate quicker understanding. Let's evaluate the values and contrast used in small pop-ups you may have seen on Mia Prep. This is the pop-up in its original form. When we view it in gray, we can see that the values used are of a good spread. The text and the background contrast well and are easily legible. What if, though, this graphic used primarily light values? It would look something like this. Notice, not much contrast exists, and when lacking darker values, it is much harder to read. Conversely, look at the graphic when displayed with darker values. It is again harder to read than the original. Viewing it in gray tone more easily shows us the dark values used and the lack of contrast. Do you notice an area of the graphic that could use stronger contrast to make it more visible? Pause the video and reflect in your lesson notes. Another area where value plays a significant role is in cinematography, which is the art of creating movies. Films are widely recognized as a popular form of entertainment, and they provide a great platform to showcase the importance and creative use of value. Movies are like painting with light. Cinematographers use value and contrast to make scenes look captivating and tell a story. This importance of value in cinematography is best seen in old black and white films, when they could not rely on the element of color to add interest to their films, but had to very carefully employ value. There were even special methods of using makeup to better accentuate and add value to actresses' faces. Because value is about how bright or dark something appears in a picture, in movies it adds depth and dimension to the scene. For example, when a scene is bright and well lit, it can feel happy or cheerful. On the other hand, if a scene is dark and shadowy, it can create a mysterious or suspenseful mood. By playing with the amount of light and darkness, cinematographers can make us feel different emotions. The difference between the light and dark areas in a picture, known as contrast, makes important things stand out in a film. For instance, if a character is standing in a brightly lit area and they are darkened, our eyes are naturally drawn to those characters. Contrast helps us focus on what's important in the scene and follow the story more easily. Take a look at this movie still. How do you see value and contrast in this scene? Where are the darkest values? Where are the lightest? Does the strong contrast used suggest anything about the character or the movie? Pause the video and evaluate in your lesson notes. Cinematographers use value and contrast to create visually stunning movies. They set the mood, make scenes look realistic, and guide our attention to important story elements. It brings movies to life and enhances the viewing experience. So, as you have seen, the art element of value, which encompasses lights and darks in an artwork, extends beyond visual arts and has various practical applications. From ensuring public safety through contrasting road signs and floor markings, to enhancing written communication, to setting the mood, guiding our attention, and making movie scenes come alive, value and contrast extend beyond aesthetics. They impact our safety, communication, and overall visual experiences. So, keep a lookout for value and contrast in your environment. And remember, art is all around you.
Hey, hey.